morning. Welcome. Yay. So if you feel called, stand on up. We're going to sing our welcoming song. So we're starting with I Sing My Love, if you want to join in. It's a pretty easy song. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love to the world. Here we go. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love to the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love to the world. Here we go. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love to the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy to the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy to the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy to the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy to the world. I speak my peace, I speak my peace, I speak my peace to the world. I speak my peace, I speak my peace, I speak my peace to the world. I speak my peace, I speak my peace, I speak my peace to the world. I speak my peace, I speak my peace, I speak my peace to the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love to the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love to the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love to the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love to the world.
All right. It's Via Dia. I don't know which way to come up here. Via Dia. It's Olivia Avanzado and Nadia Stefanik. Yes. Welcome to Tucson New Thought. Oh my gosh, I'm on a stage, which is so different from the way it's been the last month. Welcome to Tucson New Thought. Welcome to Spark Project Collective. So grateful to have you here and joining us on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning. We are a spiritual community. We come together with this vision in mind. We are here to create a world that works for everyone. And how do we do that? Well, we do that through our mission, which is providing practical tools to you, the world, providing practical tools for personal and spiritual transformation, thereby awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And what I know is that you are magnificent because you are spirit. You are pure spirit at the core of who you are. There is nothing but pure spirit. Just breathe into that. There is only pure spirit. We value community, creativity, and diversity here. We also, I was trying to think, what are some of our other values? And some of the other things that came up for me as I was thinking through that this morning are, one of the things that I value, and I try to bring to this experience as well, is it was one of those things. I value knowing. Transparency. I value transparency because when we are transparent, then we begin to cut away at all of the things that we try to cover ourselves up with, which are simply mistaken understandings of our identity as this divine spirit. And we also value love here, and we value support here. And so if you are moving through an experience of life that maybe doesn't feel so good, know that you have a place where you are supported and loved at all times. And you can always reach out to me. I am always, always available to you. Anyone at any point of their spiritual path is welcome. You know, not everybody is at the same place. It took me a while to get to this place. I only came into this philosophy, what year is this? 13 years ago. And very quickly decided that it was my path to become a minister in New Thought, and so I'm grateful. But some people may be new to this. Some people may not be new to this. You're all welcome. So let's breathe in and allow ourselves to go to a centered space. I invite you to close your eyes. If that's comfortable for you, you're welcome to close your eyes and allow your focus to fall to your breathing. Simply relax right here and right now into the easy rhythm of your breath. There's nothing you need to do to make it happen. It's simply happening. The physical body knows exactly what to do to sustain life. And so we simply allow it to unfold. We simply allow it to happen. Just deepen into that awareness that life is happening. With each exhale, the body becomes more relaxed. Simply inhale and exhale. In and out. In and out. Further deepening into the awareness that that which we are seeking has been causing us to seek. And so we simply allow it. Imagine with each breath that you are breathing love. Breathing in the love that everyone here shares. And breathing out the love that you have to share. And allowing this room to be immersed in love. Continue for a few moments. Breathing in and out this love as Via Dia raises the vibration in song.
I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light.
the stars, a piece of it all. I am light.
And gently affirm within you, repeating with your inner voice, I am here. I am fully present. I am open to a positive, inspiring experience for myself and for this entire group. And when you're ready, with a final easy breath, I invite you to open your eyes. Thank you so much. It's so beautiful. I love that song. This song by India Irie. And if you've not heard her stuff, it's fantastic. Fantastic. Very much in alignment with what we teach here. So, we engage in a ceremony each week called Lighting the Flames of Faith. And what we're doing when we do this is we are ceremonially, is that a word? Ceremonially, yes. We ceremonially honor all religious paths and faith traditions. And for each candle that we light, we are recognizing that all faith traditions, all paths, all faiths, they're connected by one thing, by this one spirit. And everything flows forth from this one thing. And so, wholeness is alive in creation and is always expressing. So, we light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the divine will of love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the final candle we light is for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them, and for all faith traditions unnamed in this ceremony. This candle also represents the healing of any circumstance that requires divinity to be revealed. Thank you. I'm going to do something that I've never done. I'm just going to give it a shot. If someone would give me a number between 23 and 423. 317. I'm going to page 317 of this, The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. 317. 1, 2, number between 1 and 3. 3? All right. I don't know what the context is, but I'm going to read this briefly. Let us begin briefly. Let us again briefly go over what it is that one must do. He must first of all believe. The supposition is that the reader already believes, or he would not be studying thus far. Why must we believe? Because God is belief. God is belief, and belief is law. And law produces form in substance. So this is under the chapter, The Practice of Spiritual Mind Healing. And so I'm just going to go off of that, what I just read, because this is one of the things that I think is good to challenge myself, to just go to a page, read it, and come up with, what do I understand? What do I know about this? And so basically what he's talking about here is that at the fundamental core, what drives our lives forward is belief, because that's all this divine power is. Now, he uses the word God. I talked a lot about God last week, and I call it good orderly direction or greatness on demand, whatever you choose to call it, or however you choose to understand it, that's entirely up to you. But what it is you believe is what is setting the course for your life, and the expression of your life is showing up based on those beliefs. And so, that chapter on the practice and use of spiritual mind healing, spiritual mind treatment, it's very jargony, right? Spiritual mind treatment. People are like, if you don't know this philosophy, you're like, what is that? Like, come on. It sounds very clinical, but like not quite clinical. It sounds kind of woo-woo. All it is knowing at the core of your beingness who you are. And knowing that when you speak your word, it is based on a belief. And that belief is what is showing up in your life. And so that's all it really means. It's actually very, very simple. This philosophy is so simple, and we love to complicate it, don't we? Oh my gosh, my life is unfolding in such a way that I'm not really comfortable with, and how do I get off of that? How do I get off of that path? Well, it comes down to your belief. What are you believing about your life? You're in charge of your life, no matter what. And as you start to look at those beliefs, you get to set the course for how your life unfolds by addressing those beliefs, really getting to the core of, do I truly believe this? And if it's something that you don't want to believe, you have the power to embody a new belief. And that's what spiritual mind treatment, that jargony phrase, is all about. It's about setting into your own mind a new belief, a new pattern of thinking. And that's how we change our lives. And so on that was a good little test for me. It's a good little test. I'm going to invite Via Dia to honor us with their beautiful, beautiful song today. Special music today, which is God, Show Me the Way. Via Dia.
Ego is telling me go, go, go. Inside I am hearing no. There's chattering voices in my head. I know what to do instead. I sit down in my favorite spot and think of all the things I've got. I close my eyes and look within, 'cause I know you'll guide me once again. God, show me the way, I'll make no mistakes, 'cause you're here right inside, and if I stumble and fall, you're there through it all. I have faith in the love and the light.
Now people are saying you can't find a job. To me, that's living in lack. I hold a vision of what I want, and the universe has my back. Ha! So every morning when I wake, happiness is a choice I make. When I'm driving every day, these are the words you'll hear me say.
God, show me the way, I'll make no mistakes, 'cause you're here right inside, and if I stumble and fall, you're there through it all. I have faith in the love and the light. I take some time to be alone, so peace and guidance can be shown. God, show me the way, I'll make no mistakes, 'cause you're here right inside, and if I stumble and fall, you're there through it all. I have faith in the love and the light. I have faith in the love and the light. I have faith in the love and the light.
All right.
Thank you.
It's Via Dia. Yes. It's a great song. I'm going to move this back just a little bit. All right, so I have to address something first and foremost. So my father, as you know, he's been here for the last few weeks, but he lives in LA, and he's watching us online. Hello to everybody online. So grateful to have you join us. And so I'm just going to address one thing because I have to, just because I didn't have a chance to text him back. He just texted me. And he said, everything's so far so good, but the back of your shirt is untucked. You need a wardrobe person. And what I'm going to say about that is it's purposeful. If you watch Queer Eye on Netflix, it's called a French tuck, where you only tuck in the front of your shirt. So it's absolutely purposeful. I do need a wardrobe person, though. There's something that came up for me. So, sometimes it's just, you just gotta put it out there. So there's something that came up for me, every week they let me know what they're going to sing and what their song is going to be. And if it's something that I don't know, which typically if it's one of their originals, I don't know their originals through and through yet. I know a number of them now, and I'm grateful for that. But I say, can you send me the lyrics for that so I can just take a look at it and see how I can align it with whatever I'm going to be saying that week? And so very dutifully, without me asking, I was sent the lyrics for this song, and I didn't look at them. Just didn't come up for me to look at them this week. But while I was standing back there, there's something that so God, show me the way. God, show me the way. The question that comes up for me in this phrase of God, show me the way is if, as I have said, God is good, orderly direction, do we need God as this idea of something outside the self to show us the way? Or can we live in that place of faith that if good, orderly direction is who and what I am, who and what you are, that no matter what, God, that thing within us, that thing itself, is always pushing us in the direction of good, even when it doesn't feel so good. And sometimes it doesn't feel so good, right? I've had my experiences of life not feeling so good. But I've come to this place of faith and understanding that when I look at the bigger picture, when I understand the bigger picture, I've always been led in the direction of good. I've always been led in the direction of God. Good, orderly direction. And so I keep to the path. And when I forget who I am, what is required of me is to do what it takes to remember who I am. That's what this whole philosophy is about. This month, I opted to, I'm just going to move this up here. It's so fun. I'm still getting used to the space. So this month, I've decided to use the theme of harmony as a theme for the month. And I like to come up with these monthly themes to kind of guide me in a direction because God is always showing me the way. That good, orderly direction is coming up through me and saying, hey, this is what this is all about. And so this month is all about harmony. And so the question that I started with this morning as I was considering what I wanted to talk about is this. What is harmony? So a week and a half ago, I think August is going to be all about harmony. But I didn't give it much thought at that point. And I woke up this morning, I'm thinking, well, what is harmony? What does it really mean? And so, and musical terms are used a lot in spiritual circles. There's something about musical terminology and spiritual circles that seem to be aligned, and it all comes up as representations of our divine experience. So if we are living in harmony, well, we think that sounds good, right? So I went to the dictionary online, and I looked up harmony. So harmony is this: the combination of simultaneously sounded musical notes to produce chords and chord progressions to have a pleasing effect. Actually, so now I'm going to ask Nadia, do you mind coming up here for a second? Totally, she doesn't know that I'm... it's just come to me because good orderly direction is leading me in this, path of thinking that I would like a demonstration. And since you're the masterful guitar player, can you grab your guitar for me? All right. So, can you play one string, just play a G? So that's a G, right? La. So that's one note. When we combine notes, now if you could play a G chord, when we combine chords, that creates harmony. When we combine those notes, and they're all in association with one another at a vibrational level. Okay? Now, I want you to play a G, but can you put that finger back over there? That sounds actually pretty good. Make it sound as bad as you possibly can. Okay. All right. So that's discord, right? When the notes are not vibrationally in alignment. And so we can be either in harmony or in discord depending at the level at which we are vibrating. Right? Play that G chord again. Whichever one you want. The good one. Play the good one. Yes. Yes. And I am practicing that, I promise. When we first met, she brought her guitar, and I said, well, I've always thought about learning to play the guitar. And she immediately sat me down with her guitar, put it in my hands, and said, here's your first chord. And so we haven't gotten back to that in a while. Thank you very much for that demonstration. So the combination of simultaneously sounded musical notes to produce chords and chord projections, I don't know why. I look at the word progressions and I say projections. Am I projecting something? To produce chords and chord progressions to have a pleasing effect. My dad is still texting me. Okay. I clearly know nothing about modern fashion. I love you, Dad. So the second definition is this: agreement or concord. So this is the whole thing. We're talking about a vibrational alignment with good. That's what harmony is all about. That's why we utilize the word harmony in spiritual circles to mean this very thing. When we are in alignment with our good, life unfolds perfectly and it all feels so good. And then something over here, the wrong note is played, and all of a sudden everything feels like it falls apart. Have you ever had that experience in life? Yeah? There's all you need to do to overcome that is to start playing the right notes again. Oh, I know. Simple. Could have had a V8. So ultimately what we're talking about is there is an alignment with wholeness. And to be in harmony is to be whole, to be in integrity. Harmony and vibration go hand in hand. I learned all about harmony when I was a young boy. So for those of you who, I think everyone in here knows, I grew up in Tucson. I was born and raised in Tucson, and then I went away for many decades, and then I've come back. But when I was growing up here, I was part of the Tucson Boys Choir. And that's really where my love for music began. And I learned all about harmony. And, I was like 10 years old and learning music theory, and it was so beneficial to me. Now, there's a whole other story that goes along with the Tucson Boys Choir. I'll tell that another time. But at the end of the day, that's really where I embodied this deep, deep love for music, and why music speaks to my soul, and why music is so important to me to have as part of this experience. Because music vibrates at the soul level and lifts us up. When we are in harmony with the divine, our vibration syncs up. And life is beautiful. We all have an inherent. Now, there is that thing within us that is inherent. We all have an inherent harmonious connection to the whole. But sometimes it goes awry, creates discord. So discord is to be out of alignment, musically and with what is true in the heart. So why does this happen? If we teach, and we teach, that no matter what, life is always progressing in the way it is meant to progress. We do teach that. When we're in discord, why are we in discord? What is that thing that puts us into a place of discord? And so this brings me to the next part of the great topic at hand, which is, just like the strings on the guitar, not every string is tuned the same way. The people in our lives, not everybody is tuned the same way. And so, what happens is if we are in a place of discord, that means we're not in vibrational alignment with whatever is around us. Oh. There's this thing, it's a jargon term. I try to stay away from the jargon, but it's easy for me because I studied it for so long that it just comes rolling off the tongue. And I'm gonna explain it. So there's this thing within the philosophy called race consciousness. And so, if we are an individualized point of consciousness, the race consciousness is the consciousness of a group, the collective consciousness of a group. So, within this room, we have created a consciousness. All of our individualized points of consciousness have aligned in this room at this time. So we've created a race consciousness in this room. And I like to believe, because I feel it, that the vibration of this room is in harmony. Now, there are people who may come into this room and their vibration is out of harmony. And to the degree that we begin to align our consciousness with that is when things fall into discord. Get it? I know this is heady stuff. But we can align ourselves unknowingly at the level of the race consciousness around us that may not be in alignment with what we would like to experience in life. And that's when things fall apart. So what is our job then? Our job is to get ourselves back into alignment. Now, can race consciousness be good? Because we tend to use this idea of race consciousness as a bad thing. Race consciousness can absolutely be good. Like I said, there is a race consciousness in this room right here and right now, and I believe that it is grounded and vibrating at the level of love. And so that's a good race consciousness, right? That's harmony. When race consciousness is vibrating at the same level of good and love. That's harmony. Now, we often think of race consciousness only in this form of, discord. And when I was thinking about how to express my own path to coming into alignment with loving race consciousness, I thought, well, when is the time in my life when I was at the most, perhaps what I would consider the most discordant? And what came up for me, which was kind of a surprise because there's many aspects I look back on with respect to this time in my life that feel really good. But the overwhelming feeling around the 3 years that I spent living in New York City are actually of discord. And I don't know if it's because I was not really vibrationally resonant with the city to a degree that, served me. But I got myself into a lot of nooks and crannies of not very healthy consciousness. And so I look back, and I have a point of view around all of it now. I look back and realize that in so many ways I was living out of alignment. And what I was struggling to do was latch on to anything out there that felt good. Latching onto those things out there and forgetting that when I want to live in harmony, in accordance with the good in my life, it's not about what's out there, it's about what's in here. It's about coming to that resonant place of understanding. Now, this is before I was in New Thought. This is before, I was always a spiritual person, whatever that means. I always imagined there was something more that I was a part of. That's what it is to be spiritual, I believe. There's something more that we're all a part of. None of us are alone. None of us is alone. But I lived those 3 years in New York City very much out of alignment with my own soul and grasping, trying to make it work. I bought into particular patterns of thought. That's the race consciousness. Patterns of thought that were all around me that I was buying into below the level of my awareness. Right? Below the level of my awareness, I was buying into these thought patterns, and that's the way my life was showing up. Because when I buy in to those thought patterns become my belief. And my life unfolds based on my beliefs. Yeah, I keep coming back to that, right? Back to what I read. My life unfolds based on my belief. Everyone's life unfolds based on their belief. And so if we want life to change, we have to address the beliefs we're holding. But we have to first become aware of them. Awareness is key, because if you're unaware, as I was for those 3 years, then life is just going to keep unfolding in a way that doesn't feel so good. So one of the things that I did is, as I was grasping for those things out there in the world of form to try and make change, it was all on the surface. And so the surface level, recognizing within that there was something that didn't quite feel right, I had to put up a front. Oh, there's another thing we do. Putting up a front. This leads us out of accordance with living in harmony. When we put up a front, we veil the truth, which is, I think, why the idea of transparency came up for me this morning. That I have to be able to take that veil away and be transparent to the world. And if I'm not allowing myself to do that, then there's something that I'm hiding from the world, and that is not going to be in service to the greatness of the world, or the greatness of me as expressed in this world. So buying into a thought pattern that was not supportive of my greatest life possible, I lived in this assumption that I could not let anybody know. Put up this veil. I couldn't let anyone know those struggles I was experiencing. And so what happened is I started to become more and more isolated. And more isolated. And so I became a wrong note in the great whole. I became a wrong note. And so everything vibrationally was out of tune. In retrospect, I look back on it now and I realize that what was happening as well is I was attracting to me also those who were in discord in their life. Because when I'm resonating at that level of discord, what I'm going to attract into my life are other people who are resonating at the level of discord. I got into a seriously unfortunate relationship. And my decision to leave that relationship, which was the first glimmer of living in harmony, was to, in a very untransparent way, rather than go up and be transparent and say, we're done, I went up and I said, I'm moving to LA. Under the assumption that I could trick this person into staying in New York, I could leave, and then I was free of the relationship. Totally non-transparent. And so what happens? Because I'm vibrating at the level of discord with this other person in my life, this other person in my life says, that's great, I'll move with you. And I didn't have the guts to say no. And so we moved across the country together. Carrie-Mon will tell you, like, she remembers this, but she knows exactly who I'm talking about. And this is a person who lives a life at a level of discord, very much. And I was in alignment with that. And so we lived in LA. We were in LA for 9 months before I finally had the guts to say, I'm done. And I walked out. Is he still? Oh, Helen. Helen Valleau is here. Helen Valleau, okay, side note, Helen Valleau is the minister at the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto, where I was serving as spiritual director. She's now the new minister there, and she's been minister there for a year. Hello, Helen. So ultimately, that decision for change that I made when I was finally in LA and having continued in this relationship for 9 months, it was allowing me to come to a place of resonating in harmony with my good again. It was a first step. I let go of that race consciousness that was destructive, and I think LA had a lot to do with it. LA was a much easier place for me to come into alignment with good. And so that helped a lot. I let go of that destructive race consciousness that I had taken on in New York, and I allowed myself to embrace the loving song in my heart. And so today's talk title, you're like, wait, but wasn't your talk title Sing Your Song Out Loud? Yes. When your song is in alignment with the infinite whole, magnificent things begin to happen. So we must sing our song out loud. How do we do this? Well, it's like getting to Carnegie Hall. Practice, practice, practice. It never ceases. See, the thing about spiritual practice is that it never ceases. Even in mastery of spiritual principles, we must continue to practice the mastery. That's the truth about musicians. Excuse me. I consider you a virtuoso on the guitar, Nadia. Do you ever not practice? But she's being transparent. Had to practice in music school. But even now, we come in on a Sunday morning, and for you to understand how the song is going to unfold, we practice, right? So it still takes practice. I know you can get up here, look at a piece of music, and play it, but that took practice to master. And to maintain that skill, I believe you still need to continue to practice. I still practice singing all the time, much to the chagrin of my husband when we're home and I'm just singing out loud. Of course, he's still in Canada, so I get to sing out loud all the time, and it's just the cats. Even in mastery, we need to practice. We need to sing our song not because we think others will hear it. That's not the purpose of singing our song out loud, but because it's the truth in our hearts. There's a story that I'm going to read. I don't typically do a lot of reading, and some of you I know will have heard this story before. But it speaks to the degree to which we are understanding and hearing and listening and living our life out loud, and the resonance around us that may or may not be in alignment with that. So here's the story. A man sat at a metro station in Washington, D.C., and started to play the violin. It was a cold January morning. He played 6 Bach pieces for about 45 minutes. During that time, since it was rush hour, it was calculated that thousands of people went through the station, most of them on their way to work. 3 minutes went by, and a middle-aged man noticed there was a musician playing. He slowed his pace and stopped for a few seconds. Then he hurried up to meet his schedule. A minute later, the violinist received his first dollar tip. A woman threw money in the till and without stopping continued to walk. A few minutes later, someone leaned against the wall to listen to him, but the man looked at his watch and then started to walk again. Clearly, he was late for work. The one who paid the most attention was a 3-year-old boy. His mother tagged him along, hurried, but the kid stopped to look at the violinist. Finally, the mother pushed hard and the child continued to walk, turning his head all the time. The action was repeated by several other children. All the parents, without exception, forced them to move on. In the 45 minutes the musician played, only 6 people stopped and stayed for a while. About 20 gave him money, but continued to walk their normal pace. He collected $32. When he finished playing and silence took over, no one noticed it, no one applauded, nor was there any recognition. No one knew this, but the violinist was Joshua Bell, one of the best musicians in the world. He played one of the most intricate pieces ever written with a violin, worth $3.5 million. 2 days before playing in the subway, Joshua Bell sold out a theater in Boston, where the seats averaged $100 each. This is a real story. Joshua Bell playing incognito in the metro station. It was organized by the Washington Post to consider this idea. In a commonplace environment, at what we consider an inappropriate hour, do we perceive beauty? Do we stop to appreciate it? And do we recognize the talent present in an unexpected context? One of the conclusions from this experience could be that if we do not have a moment to stop and listen to one of the best musicians in the world playing the best music ever written, how many other things are we missing in our own lives? For me, that's being out of discord. That's being in discord, not out of discord. That's being in discord and out of harmony. And here's the thing, too. If we don't have time to consider our own song and maybe unknowingly aligning it with the songs around us in a discordant way, what are we really doing here? Are our lives so busy that we can't take that time to stop and live in the practice of singing our song out loud? Something to consider this week. And so what I'm going to invite you to do this week is to pay attention to your song. Don't just let it go by. Pay attention to your song and start to come to that place of realization and understanding whether the song is resonant or discordant in your life. And if you find that it's resonant, good on you. Keep moving in that direction. If you find that it's discordant in your life, know that there is something you can do about it by stepping back into practice. Do something like what we did earlier, centering. That's a great way to come back into alignment with the harmony in our lives. I use centering all the time to allow myself to come into harmony. Spiritual practice means nothing unless we're actually putting it to use. So, practice the harmonious song inherent within you and sing your song out loud. Namaste. I'm going to invite Viadia back up here. I'm going to invite you to take out whatever it is you're going to offer the center today in terms of your investment, your tithe, your contribution, however you choose to understand it. It doesn't matter what it's called. Here's what I understand at the end of the day. Money is love in action, and it takes money to put love into action. And so as we do a collection here for our good so that we can continue to grow and expand and have greater and bigger spaces in the stage, it all takes money in this world of form. So what I would like to do is honor your investment, the investment that you're making in our vision and mission. And I'm so grateful to you for your support and the blessings that you share. And I've done something new this week as well, because, being up here, it's all new. If you look on your program, I have this offering statement that I would like us to read together as a community. And so right under offering in kind of that brownish color, let's read this together. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction the Spirit is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously give to the vision of my spiritual center and know that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so I also invite people, if you're online, you can click the link to make an online contribution in whatever way feels good to you. I will go ahead and bring these down here. And thank you, William. And I will let William pass it around. Couple of things as the baskets go around that I would like to let you know. So we are going to be here at Spark, it looks like, for at least 3 months. That's the arrangement that John and I have come up with. And so we have a space for a while. And so I invite you to come back, bring your friends. We're going to get some more chairs so, we can continue to expand, because who knew? We're almost out of chairs today. I want to thank Viadia today for their brilliance in offering us their harmony and their music and singing their song out loud. Thank you so much. I want to thank John and Spark Project Collective for hosting us. Yes. I want to thank you for joining us here. And I want to thank everyone online for joining us online, knowing that we are creating a community of good here. And at the core of our beingness, at the core of our hearts is one thing and one thing only, and that is love. Love only. I invite Nadia to noodle, as we call it, as we come to this time and start to complete our experience together. Thank you, William. Just relaxing in the here and now. Releasing anything that we might find to be discordant, and allowing ourselves to purposefully come into that place of harmony. It's that fast. And so as I sing this song, recognizing that there is discord that we can align ourselves with, we can always come back to the understanding that there is a light and a harmony within. And that's the truth. There is a light that guides you through the storms. There is a place of healing and calm. There is a peace that lives beneath the waves, beneath the sorrow and the joy. There is a stillness and grace. Your tears like rain are falling from the skies. It is God's love that's pouring from your eyes. The wounds of life, they bring healing, my friend. The heart that breaks is but opening again. The heart that breaks is but opening again. Right here, right now, I live in the deepest place of faith and understanding that there is only one power, one presence, one creative source for all that is. And we are, each of us, perfectly aligned in harmony with this one creative source because we are this one creative source at the level of our expression and experience of it. I know this to be true beyond a shadow of a doubt. And I resonate here and now with this understanding that as we move forward harmoniously, living lives of magnificence, living lives of power, living lives of peace, living lives with love and light always shining forth. And that this is what we bring to the world. And so wherever we go, we are setting this up as the consciousness, the predominant consciousness of every room we are in, every person we encounter. We consciously resonate at the level of harmonious love. And trusting this and knowing this, and in deep gratitude for this understanding, allowing myself to be filled with this gratitude, I relax, release, let go, and allow the perfect unfoldment of this divine power as life. I trust, I know, and I let it be so, as together we say, and so it is. There is a light that guides you through the storms. There is a place of healing and calm. There is a peace that lives beneath the waves, beneath the sorrow and the joy. There is a stillness and grace. Your tears like rain are falling from the sky. It is God's love that's pouring from your eyes. The wounds of life, they bring healing, my friend. The heart that breaks is but opening again. The heart that breaks is but opening again. There is a light. There is a light. And so it is. Ah, thank you so much. So we're going to lift up the energy and take it out of here today with going back to the first song we started with today, I Sing My Love. I invite you to stand and dance and feel the joy.
I sing my love, I sing my love,
I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. What are we doing?
I dance my joy,
I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world.
speak peace, I speak my peace,
I speak my peace, I speak my peace into the world. I speak my peace, I speak my peace, I speak my peace into the world. I speak my peace, I speak my peace, I speak my peace into the world. I speak my peace, I speak my peace, I speak my peace into the world.
sing love,
I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing